Everyone, I welcome you all to this video. And today in this video, we are going to discuss about SQL aggregate functions, and particularly we will be discussing about max function in this video. And we will also discuss about the group by clause, right? So first of all, now we will require some data so that we can learn about other concepts. So I am creating a new database this time, and the new table will reside in the new database. So I will write create database and then the name of the database. So let's name the new database as sales, and we can write it in square brackets, and we can write sales analysis or sales database and close the bracket. And now I will select the statement written in line number 2 and will execute it. So commands completed successfully. This new database was created. Press enter twice, come to line number 4. Now we need to write use this database. So use sales database. So as of now it's not showing the option, so we can write use sales database. Now we will execute the statement written in line number 4. So select the statement written in line 4 and execute it. So now you can see that at the top sales database is written. Now we want to create a table that will reside in this database, that is sales database, and we will now be using that table for analysis. So Control R and output section will be hidden. Press enter twice, come to line number 6. And I have a piece of code ready with me in the notepad. I will be providing this piece of code to you as well. So you can simply copy it from the notepad and you can paste it here in Microsoft SQL Server in the query window. And now you can simply execute the statement that is written from line number 6 to line number 30, right? Line number 6 to line number 30. Select this statement, SQL code, and execute it. So 10 rows were affected. It means a new table by the name DBO sales was created. And this table DBO sales basically resides in the database having the name sales database, right? So now we will be working with this table, and you can create this table so that you can practice along with me. So you just simply need to copy this piece of code so that you will be able to create the table. Now let's begin with our discussion about the aggregate functions. So I will now simply click on new query, and it will create a new query window for us. Now I'll simply press enter twice. It brings us to line number 3. But before that, let's discuss about one thing. Let's say if you do not want to see this object explorer here, which is available on the left hand side, you can simply remove it from here. And let's say if you want to bring it back, so you can simply click on view tab and you can then click on object explorer. So it will come back. But as of now, we want to remove it. So I will simply remove it from here, right? Now let's write simple select statement to see the data that we are going to use for our analysis in order to understand about the aggregate function and group by clause. So I will write select star from dbo.sales. So this is the table that we have, and I will select this statement and I will execute it. So this is the table that we have. So here we have different columns. In the very first column, we have product ID. Then we have the date on which the sales happened. Then we have the quantity column that tells us about the quantity of the product sold. Then we have the total amount for which the product was sold. Then we have customer ID that tells us about the ID of the customer who bought the product. Then we have store ID, the store from which the product was sold. Then we have salesperson ID, the salesperson through which the product was sold. And then we have a payment method, the method that was used to complete the payment. So these are different columns that we have. Now let's say there's a requirement that is given to you and you are told that you need to find out the maximum value from the total amount column. So as of now, if you will see, then you can see that 375 is the maximum value in this column, but you want to find out this value with the help of a SQL code. So how you can write that code? So I'm writing that code in line number 5. So you can always write select. First of all, let's write select star from dbo.sales. And now in place of star, let's write max of. So max is basically a function, bracket open, max of total amount, and close the bracket. And now let's execute the select statement written in line number 5. So first of all, I will select it and then I will click on execute. So you can see that the maximum amount from total amount column is being shown here in the output. as of now, you can see that this column is not having any name. So at the top, no column name is written. But let's say we want to provide a column name to this output. So just before the from keyword, in the square brackets, we can write maximum amount. And if I will now execute the statement written in line number 5, so first of all, I will select it and then I will simply click on execute. So you can see that the new column that is generated is having the name maximum amount because we have used an alias for the new column that is going to be created. So in that way, we can find out the maximum value from the total amount column by using max function. This is an example of an aggregate function. Now again, if I will execute the simple select statement on the sales table that is written in line number 3. So if I'll first of all select it, it is highlighted in blue as of now that you can see on the screen. And now I will simply click on execute. Now let's say if I'll talk about the total amount column, so it is a numerical column. This column consists of numerical values. What if I want to know about the maximum sale date, the maximum date on which the sales took place? So we can use max function on this date column as well. So how we can do that? I will press enter twice, come to line number 7, and I can write select max of sale date. Sale date is the name of the column, right? So max of sale date, and in the square brackets, we can provide an alias name and we can write max sale date from dbu.sales. If I will now select the statement written in line number 7 and if I'll execute it, so you can see that the maximum date on which the sales took place is being shown to you as 6/8/2023, right? So that is 6th August 2023. So in this way, we can use the max function on date columns as well. Now let's take the example of a column where we have textual values, and let's see that if we can use max function on textual columns as well or not. So again, I will first of all execute the select statement written in line number 13. So I'll select it first of all, and then I'll simply click on execute. So this is the table. This is the data that we're using for an analysis. So here we have a column by the name payment method, and this column consists of textual values, right? So it's a textual field. So I'll press enter twice. I'll come to line number 9, and let's write select max of payment method from dbu.sales. You can provide an alias name to the column as well. So let's go back. Let's provide an alias name in the square brackets. We can write pay method, max pay method. And if I will now execute the statement written in line number 9, so you will, okay, so we have not written the name of the column correctly. So, okay, it is method, not method. And now if I'll execute the select statement written in line number 9, I'll select it and I'll execute it. So you can see that the max pay method comes out to be debit card, right? So basically, we'll have sorted the values in the alphabetical order, and then accordingly it showed us the maximum value. Now, let's say we want to execute this simple select statement again, that is select star from dbu.sales, so that we can see the data again. So there is one thing that you should note. In the payment method column, we have null values as well. If you'll have a look at record number 5, then we have a null value in payment method column. If you'll have a look at record number 8, then you will see that we have null value in payment method column. So whenever we are using max function on a column where we have null values, so max function will ignore those values. It will not consider those values while calculating or finding out the maximum value from that column. So null values from payment method column were ignored when this statement written in line number 9 was executed, right? So that's how max function can be used, and it can be used on columns with different data types. Now, let's say a requirement is given to you, and the requirement is that you have to find out the maximum quantity sold for each product ID, right? So you have to find maximum quantity sold for each product ID. So first of all, let's discuss about the distinct product IDs that we have in our data set. So if we will look at the column product ID, so you can see that we are having only three different types of three product IDs: product ID 1, product ID 2, and product ID 3. So these are the three distinct values. For each one of the distinct product ID, we want to know about the maximum quantity sold. So how we can write the statement? So we can write select product ID, comma, max of quantity. Product ID and quantity are the names of columns, right? Select product ID, comma, max of quantity. In the square brackets, we can provide an alias name to max quantity column. So we can write maximum quantity, and then from dbu.sales. Now, if we will execute the select statement written in line number 12, if we'll select it and if we'll execute it, all right, so it shows that the column product ID is invalid in the select list because it is not contained either in the aggregate function or the group by clause, right? So we are missing a group by clause. That's why this statement is throwing an error, right? So what should we do to rectify this? So I'll press enter and I'll write group by. Now in the group by clause, I will have to specify the product ID column. So I will copy the name of product ID column, Control C, and I'll mention it here. Now there is one thing that you should understand. If I'll talk about the select statement, so in the select statement, we have two columns basically. So the first column is product ID column and the second column is quantity column. If I'll talk about the quantity column, then an aggregate function is being used on this quantity column. That is, max function is being used on this quantity column. But on product ID column, no such aggregation is being used. So you will have to specify product ID column in the group by clause, right? Because in that way, for each distinct product ID, basically a group will be created, a bundle will be created, and then for each one of the distinct product ID, maximum quantity sold will be shown. So we have to write it in this way. And now I will select the statement written in line 12 and 13, and I will simply execute it from here. So you can see that we were having three distinct IDs. So product ID 1, product ID 2, product ID 3. The maximum quantity sold for product ID 1 was 10. The maximum quantity sold for product ID 2 was 9. The maximum quantity sold for product ID 3 was 15. That's why this kind of output is being shown. Now, let's say there is one more requirement and we want to know about the maximum amount, maximum total amount value for different dates or unique dates that we have. So first of all, let's write select star from dbu.sales to see the table that we have. So I'll select this statement in line 15 and I'll execute it. So this is the data that we are using. And we want to know about the maximum total amount for all distinct dates in sale date column. So now we can write select. First of all, we want sale date to be there. So we'll write select sale date, comma, max of, since we want max of the total amount column, so we will write max of total amount. And after that, we will provide an alias name to max of total amount column. So we can write maximum total amount. And then we can write from dbu.sales. This is our table. And then in the group by clause, we will mention the name of sale date column because it is not included in any aggregate function in the select statement. So group by sale date, and we want sale date in the column list and in the output. So that's why we have to write it in this way. So now I will select the statement written in line 18 and 19. You can select line 17 as well because that's a comment, so it will not impact the output. Select from line 17 to 19 and execute it. So you can see that for each one of the dates, distinct dates, maximum total amount value is being represented. So that's how we can use the group by clause, right? And That's how max function can be used. So I hope this video was helpful. We'll meet in the next session. We'll discuss about other aggregate functions. So till then, thank you. Bye-bye.